You're watching the 4 o'clock news on Oklahoma's News 4.
A major announcement by DHS, a reprieve given to service programs. Critical services will continue beyond December 1st, but for how long?
What do you say when someone that you deeply care about has done something that is so horrible?
Sexual misconduct scandal growing. It started in Hollywood and now it's rocking some in the media.
All in a day's work, an off-duty police officer shoots armed robbers while holding a baby. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jolene Cheney.
And I'm Les West. We begin here at 4 o'clock with some breaking news.
The governor expected to begin a news conference any moment now. We do have a crew there right now waiting for the governor to begin. We're going to head back to the Capitol as soon as that happens.
Also at KFOR.com, Live 2 will be streaming that when that news conference begins. Also here at 4 o'clock, $1 million judgment.
A federal jury found in favor of a transgender woman after determining Southeastern Oklahoma State University wrongfully denied her tenure.
Dr. Rachel Tudor alleges the school in Durant violated her civil rights and punished her for being different. She was terminated back in 2011. Our Lily Zhang is following these developments and joins us live with more.
Well, Lance, this was a case nearly a decade in the making, and according to the lawsuit, Dr. Tudor began transitioning in 2007, becoming the university's first openly transgender professor, and she was on the track for tenure.
Dr. Tudor had to go through every single hurdle anybody could have possibly put up. It's been a decade's worth of just hardship after hardship after hardship.
Troy Stevenson, executive director of Freedom Oklahoma, is praising a court decision voting in favor of Dr. Rachel Tudor, this transgender woman and former professor at Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
And it was the university itself that denied her that tenure, which is just unprecedented. It's unheard of. You don't do that. That was what made it such a blatant case of discrimination.
Former Freedom Oklahoma board member Brittany Novotny, pictured here in the center, served as a local counsel on the case. Dr. Tudor was hired in 2004. 3 years later, she notified the Durant College of her plans to transition from male to female. According to the lawsuit, she was warned the university's vice president of academic affairs considered transgender people to be a, quote, grave offense to his religious sensibilities, but could not fire her regardless. When it came time to apply for tenure, she was denied.
She was loved by her students. She was fully qualified. The tenure board said she was fully qualified.
The jury awarded her more than $1 million. Tudor's attorney, Ezra Young, tells us she's a private person, but did release a statement saying, quote, I want to thank the jury for being fair, impartial, and deciding the case on its merits. As for Stevenson, he says this case sends a strong message of hope.
People try to give Oklahoma a bad reputation for discrimination and for bias, but I think this sent a clear message that this unanimous entire jury said we're not going to allow people to treat others this way.
And a statement on the university's website says that they do respect the verdict. Their focus, however, remains educating their students. We did reach out to the university for more, but they did decline to comment any further. We also have more on Dr. Tudor's fight to be reinstated tonight at 5.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm
All
Team.
those northerly winds, they are picking up outside. Pretty windy across a good part of our state. Chillier weather's now draining in, but at least we have the sunshine this afternoon. It was fairly cloudy earlier in the day, but here in the past couple of hours, sunshine's done a nice job at building in along with these northerly breezes that are now gusting to 35 and even 40 miles an hour in parts of our state. It's bringing down changing temperatures as we head toward the evening and overnight hours. But for this time of year, it's not bitter cold. It's just turning cooler. Mid-50s in northern Oklahoma to the low and a few mid-60s in the southern parts of our state right now as we head through the 4 o'clock hour. And here are the winds picking up from the north. Chillier weather draining on in, so don't forget your jacket this evening. Sundown at 5:25 this evening, and by 10 o'clock it'll be plenty chilly. These are 10 o'clock temperatures here. Mid to upper 30s in northern Oklahoma to the mid and upper 40s in southern Oklahoma. Mostly low to mid 40s by 10 p.m. here in the metro. But Lance and Jolene, I'm talking about hard freezes for quite a few Oklahomans tonight. We'll take a look at those low temperatures and, of course, Thanksgiving, the holiday coming up.
All right. Thank you very much. And today, finally, a little bit of good news for some of our state's most vulnerable citizens.
The Department of Human Services announcing the agency will not have to reduce or eliminate service programs for seniors or people with disabilities.
You may recall late last month, DHS notified recipients some programs will be cut due to a lack of funding starting on December the 1st.
Today, the agency announced Governor Fallin didn't veto $26.9 million in short-term funding earmarked for DHS in the revised budget bill.
And the department is still $42 million short of a balanced budget, but the approved funding is enough to provide the critical services beyond December 1st.
We're told future cuts are possible. Right now, DHS leaders are working to determine exactly how long the agency can sustain the programs with the current funding.
Well, the list of prominent men accused of acting inappropriately with women continues to grow this afternoon.
It started with the first big name, Harry Weinstein. Now news anchor Charlie Rose. NBC's Blaine Alexander has the latest on today's developments.
Today, more big names joining the growing list of those accused of sexually inappropriate behavior. News anchor Charlie Rose, Congressman John Conyers, New York Times White House reporter Glenn Thrush, now joining Senator Al Franken and Senate candidate Roy Moore. The Washington Post reporting 8 women have accused longtime anchor Charlie Rose of sexual harassment, including nudity, groping, and lewd phone calls. Both PBS and CBS News have cut ties with Rose. He has apologized but denies that all of the allegations are accurate.
It's not wrongdoing.
His longtime co-anchors visibly upset.
What do you say when someone that you deeply care about has done something that is so horrible?
New York Times reporter and MSNBC contributor Glenn Thrush suspended after Vox reported a pattern of inappropriate behavior toward women journalists. And on Capitol Hill, Congressman John Conyers denying all wrongdoing in a sexual harassment claim first published by BuzzFeed. The congressman saying in a statement he agreed to settle to avoid a lengthy court battle, but denied all guilt. President Trump, who for days has avoided questions on Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore, today saying this.
He gives a total denial. And I do have to say, 40 years is a long time. He's run 8 races, and this has never come up.
The president says he believes that Congress should release the names of all members who have settled harassment claims. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
One Democratic lawmaker says over the past 10 to 15 years, the House has paid millions in taxpayer dollars to settle harassment claims.
Time now to check in with Kevin Ogle from our Sky Center today. Good afternoon, buddy.
Thank you, my friend. Boy, this is amazing. A police officer confronting 2 robbery suspects might not seem at first glance like an unusual story, but wait until you see this. Security cameras capture the moment when an off-duty police officer stops 2 bad guys while holding his infant son in his arms. Let me show you. The scene unfolded at a pharmacy in Brazil. The off-duty officer at the time was in the store with his family when he saw a robbery going down. The suspects pointed a gun at the officer. He drew his weapon, and right there you can see open fired, his baby clutched in his arms. During the shooting, the officer's wife, you can see her right there, crouching in an aisle. She extends her arms. The husband hands over his baby, uninjured. Both suspects, by the way, were killed in the shootout. And that's a look at headlines right now in the Sky Center. Back to you.
All right, my friend, thank you very much. Time now to look at stories that are hot on the web.
Now, officers in Texas have plenty to be thankful for this afternoon.
Especially after an extremely close call with a suspected drunk driver. It was all caught on camera, so watch the video here. The officers tending to a disabled vehicle on the side of the road when another vehicle careened right past the group. There it is.
Ooh, as you saw there, the missed the officers by inches and hit the parked patrol vehicle.
Amazingly, nobody was injured. The driver of the vehicle was arrested there at the scene for DWI. And police in Mississippi are giving drivers the bird. Thanksgiving turkey, that is.
Police officers are stopping motorists to hand out turkeys, not tickets. It's an effort to give back to the community during the holidays.
It is a community-wide effort called Giving 2017. Officers are hoping it becomes an annual tradition.
And have you seen this video here? It's been making the rounds on social media.
It's awesome.
Gulf Shores, Alabama police posted the getting ready for work video over the weekend.
And that's K-9 Officer Nitro doing push-ups with his colleagues. The department says they are warming up and ready to apprehend any bad guys who break the law.
The post has been viewed 47,000 times, shared 1,100 times so far on Facebook. Probably much more to go, too.
Who's a good boy? Heather Holman now with what else is trending.
Everyone loves a great implosion. Check that out. You may remember we brought you this great view of the implosion of the massive Georgia Dome on Monday. NBC had the perfect shot from high above, but sometimes the best laid plans go awry. Just ask a cameraman from the Weather Channel when along came a bus. The camera was in the perfect place right here to capture the implosion, but just as we see smoke coming from the roof, a bus enters the shot, and yes, it wasn't just passing through. It was making a stop. You heard us bleep out the comment there. That was the cameraman, and for the longest 15 seconds ever, it just sat there long enough to block the entire implosion from view. Much to the delight of the Twitter world, the internet can be awesome at times. Take a look at this. Sports Illustrated ran with it, highlighting other moments. The ill-timed Atlanta bus obstructed the view of other classic sports moments. The bus pulls up just as a batter swings at a pitch. Then in another, the bus parks just in time to block a nail-biting shot in basketball. Everybody's having a lot of fun with this. In the end, the Weather Channel caught what they wanted on video. But as one Twitter user wrote, years from now, this will still be what today will be remembered for. That bus. That's a look at what's trending today. Back to you.
I don't care who you are. That's some good stuff right there.
Bleepity bleep bleep bleep.
There it is. It is that time of year. Moms, dads, kids, all alike checking their lists.
Top in the wish list for most kiddos, toys, of course. What every parent needs to know, though, before hitting the stores, the dangerous toys still on a lot of shelves.
We really want our kids to think out of the box, you know.
Plus t-shirts, tattoos, and skateboards, the unconventional methods that are turning around a school struggling in academics and discipline.
And Win a Baby, the unusual contest offered by a radio station. Those details ahead.
What?
You're watching the 4 o'clock news on Oklahoma's News 4 with Lance West, Jolene Cheney, and Mike Morgan. Oklahoma's News 4, looking out for you.
Warning for you before you start shopping this holiday season, if you haven't already.
Yeah, there are dangerous toys still on a lot of shelves out there. The Trouble in Toyland report warning parents to be wary when shopping for children's gifts like those fidget spinners.
Many of the popular gadgets contain dangerously high levels of lead, like these seen here.
Well, the group also warning parents and other consumers of connected toys like this doll you see right here. Authorities are concerned the high-tech doll may violate children's privacy and make them a target for hackers.
As we've heard about this one before, those popular small magnets, they can become deadly when ingested. The powerful magnets can rip through vital organs.
If you would like to see the complete list of dangerous toys, we have them on our website at KFOR.com.
Forewarn Weather is sponsored by Newcastle Casino. Now, Forewarn Weather with Mike Morgan.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are standing by for a news conference with the governor down at the state capitol that may be joined when it begins. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about our weather this afternoon. And, well, chilly northerly breezes are gradually building in, and the winds have been gusty today. Here's our time lapse from first of all, this is a story that I've got to tell you. It turns out our producer in this newscast, the 4 o'clock newscast, she spent a lot of time in Alaska, and she's seen this for her very own eyes. And she came back to the Storm Center a short while ago, and she says, you got to see this aurora borealis from Alaska that occurred last night. She's never seen a red one before. This is a green one, so they are different colors. And is it ever green? What a spectacular sight from Alaska with a very powerful and crystal clear aurora borealis. Thanks, Jill, for that video from Alaska. That's really something else. It'd be great to see that in person, wouldn't it? Here's our time lapse from Stillwater. We have sunshine out there and gusty northerly winds. Temperatures, well, they're starting to cool off. We're in the mid-50s to the lower 60s in most of the state. Ardmore's still 66 degrees, but 57 in Ponca City. And Alva has 55 degrees right now. The wind gusts, well, they're coming in from the north, and they have been strong this afternoon. The northerly winds have really kicked in beginning at about 1 o'clock here in Oklahoma City. We're getting wind gusts close to 40 miles per hour right now in much of western Oklahoma. There's a little bit of blowing dust from time to time, and the northerly winds complements of high pressure now building in from Nebraska. It's done a really nice job at chasing that morning cloud cover away, and skies have cleared nicely. You know, at night, clouds act like a blanket. When you take the clouds away and skies are clear, you can really maximize your chilling effect overnight. And yes, it will be a cold night tonight. Many Oklahomans are going to have a hard freeze as high pressure comes right from Nebraska, right down into northern Oklahoma late tonight, and then right across our state tomorrow. So that's going to keep a chill in the air for tomorrow, so it'll be heavy jacket weather, maybe even coat weather, but the winds tomorrow won't be very strong, and temperatures will be a mix of 40s and 50s for tomorrow around the region. A lot of sunshine, good for holiday travelers as well. Guyman pops up to 65. Turns out that's a trend toward our weather heading toward Thanksgiving and Friday. These are evening temperatures, low to mid 40s at 10. And mid-30s in northern Oklahoma at 10 o'clock to the lower and upper 40s in the southern parts of our state. The winds will come down a fair amount after dark. But look at the low temperature, 27 tonight, a hard freeze in Oklahoma City. So if you have any tender plants outside, make sure you bring them in. Metro lows, 23 in El Reno tonight, Guthrie 26, 27 in Shawnee, 31 in Ardmore, and low to mid-20s in northern Oklahoma. And tomorrow it'll be a chilly day, but we'll have a lot of sunshine, bright blue skies with not much wind. So with the sunshine, 49 won't feel all that bad. And metro high temperatures will be in the upper 40s to the very low 50s for tomorrow, Wednesday, and statewide highs from the mid-40s in northeast Oklahoma to the low and mid-50s in western Oklahoma. And Guyman goes up to 65 degrees. Here's a look at Thanksgiving. High temperatures mid to mid upper 60s, and we'll have some 70s Thanksgiving in western Oklahoma, and the winds will not be a problem. So great for families either at home or traveling to grandma's house in and around our state. Black Friday, southerly breezes really kick in for you shoppers. 43 will be the morning low temperature, and by afternoon, mid 60s to upper 70s on Friday, even an 82 in Altus. 7-day forecast coming up right after this. Welcome back. It is going to be a cold night tonight with a hard freeze. 27 for the low. Light and variable winds tomorrow. Still a chilly day, but sunshine. It'll be totally sunny. 49 for a high. 32 tomorrow night. Thanksgiving, just gorgeous. 66 with a light breeze on Thanksgiving, and kind of breezy and quite a bit warmer on Friday for holiday shoppers. 41 in the morning, Friday morning. The weekend, guys, does look great. Kind of a windy stretch, but still mild temperatures early next week. More at 4:30.
All right.
Hard to believe it's late November, right?
No kidding.
Wow.
All right. T-shirts, tattoos, sneakers, and a skateboard.
Not things you might normally associate with the principal of your children's school, but that is the case with this unconventional principal in Virginia. He is gaining national attention for his unique methods.
Amesh Brewer made his up around the halls on his middle school on a skateboard, but his record of achievement is pretty serious. He doesn't allow simply teaching to test. Brewer also lives by the philosophy that poverty is not a disability.
His style of leadership is helping turn around a school struggling in academics and discipline.
We really want our kids to think out of the box. You know, I don't want them thinking about exams. I want them thinking out of the box. So we've got Chavez and folks like that. And, you know, your school really does become the expectation, the voice, the vocabulary that you set for it. And we want to set a high expectation.
And tonight on Nightly News, Rahema Ellis has more with Principal Brewer and his unique philosophies. You'll also hear from teachers about why Brewer's methods are working, and we're going to hear from kids and why they say they are responding to him.
To Florida now, where a radio station just might be running the most unusual contest ever.
The chance to win a baby. A baby, you heard us right. Yeah. A chance to win a baby.
The station says the giveaway is all about giving the gift of life just in time for the holiday season. Radio personality Big Mama came up with the idea after he and his wife struggled to get pregnant.
We have decided to give away an IVF cycle in hopes of making somebody a new mom and dad for the holiday season.
How about that? Folks have until Friday at midnight to enter the contest.
An Oklahoma woman beats all the men in a 100-mile race.
You probably heard this name before, Camille Herron. She's a superstar.
She's here with us right now. That's because she's also been a star of the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon.
Recognize that face?
Yes, she's joining us in studio to talk about her latest accomplishment coming up in our next half hour.
The rock star. And months after a tragic car crash, one of the young victims is going home. We're going to hear from her about her long road to recovery today at 5 o'clock. Boy, a big mystery at Vance Air Force Base.
Pilots flying the T-6 trainer aircraft began noticing some troubling symptoms.
And it turns out those symptoms indicated a lack of oxygen. More of that story coming up. But first, let's go live to Mary Fallon, Governor Mary Fallon, who's talking about recent political developments.
I want to give you an update on what has occurred since I line item vetoed the budget that was passed last week by our legislature during our special session. As we have discussed several times, we did protect